Alrighty, a couple of things, mighty. First of all, we have this guy with 30 years prior experience to Office applications and thinking that I don't know, you can do whatever you want, man, but after 3 decades, I think the chances are decreasing. That is a fact. I know AI tells you otherwise, but it's a fact. And yeah, the goal that you try to approach, man, I don't think this will suit you, because if it didn't suit you before, it won't suit you now. You gotta be sort of in for it for the pain and the pleasure, but mostly the pain, since applications require a lot of pain. And then there is the fact with this guy. And the other thing, which was a game changer, industry disruptor, was seeing today Claude and a colleague of mine doing voice prompting, so to say, speech to text, the text going into the server thingy, coding something in Python for a .pptx file, PowerPoint file, and generating versions of PowerPoint presentations. It's a little futuristic, I'm not gonna lie. This is, I'm not saying everyone will be unemployed next year, but I'm also not saying that this is not quite an accomplishment if you think about the technical difficulties of picking up sound and converting this quite fastly into spoken words, which are then translated to an instruction in human readable language, nonetheless, sent through servers. First we also have the wireless setup, then this gets transferred through wires, through servers, where it's interpreted and written back and forth and front, and millions of instructions, some efficient, some inefficient, calculating and doing abstractions and multiplications and divisions and whatnot, and formatting and creating code in machine readable language to create a machine product where the machine is somewhat happy with and the human is somewhat happy with, and the ever demanding human asking more and more and more, demanding more, no more, better, improve this, the color scheme, I don't like this, the formatting is off, and all these rules. And constantly the servers giving all their best, and JavaScript bursting out of its seams, connection errors, even though there are no connections errors, and caching, heavy caching, and the session needs to be kept alive, and the context needs to be put in consideration, but also the tokenization and calculation still going on, and the right model for the right tool in the right time, while there's no server failed, and all of this. It is a little bit complex, and I'm just scratching barely the surface here, I didn't even mention the network protocols and the hardware involved and the electricity in regards to amping up, slowing down, how much is required, how much do I push, how much do I need to pull, and what exactly needs to be put here to format this, to translate this from a human language to a machine language to millions and millions of translation through various other machine languages, from binary to assembly to Python, somewhat high level languages, only to create an object in a proprietary file format system for an operating system that does not give a fuck, from a company that does not give a fuck, in a black box system where they rather keep you suffering because you have to pay for this than tell you anything what would happen. Maybe the open source alternative would be better. Also in correlation with, token calculations, if you talk like a caveman, or if you convert your instructions to Chinese, since the information compression is higher, and all of this. And yeah, I do like it. It's interesting. It's amazing to see. And also factually, the reiteration of the reiteration, saying I want a new versioning, somewhat of a versioning system. Is it efficient? No. Would it be better if you learned this by hand? Probably. Is it fast? Somewhat, yes. Is it sustainable? Probably not. But the technology in regards to the peak, what you're seeing, what's possible, what you can do, what you can't do, I do like it. I do like that very much. And it got me a little bit more invested into trying out various concepts with various models, locally as well as cloud-based, and also free and also paid versions. But yeah, the tokens are the big limiting factor. As how should I put this? You live by the sword, you die by the sword, and the sword in this kind of case is how do I live regarding the tokens, you know? Before this I was seeing memes when people used and spent all the tokens, but now I saw sort of, you know, this is like, put this, you don't calculate your life anymore in regards to seconds, minutes, hours, whatnot, weeks. You calculate everything based on how much tokens can I get out of this very life, you know? These flesh, my flesh and bones. How much is this worth converted in useful and interesting or trashy or garbage tokens? You know, this is like, yeah, but life is so complex. You can't just boil it down to tokens. Yes, I can, you know? If you force, I think with enough math and with enough math and physics, holy shit, math and physics. Yeah, with enough of those two, you can define and calculate, explain, not everything, but most of the stuff, like quite a lot. And I do love this concept of depicting, calculating, extracting, storing, you know, information technology, nonetheless, you know, and all of these fields intertwining to create something beautiful, magical, like shareholder value. And what is it? Laundry, money laundering? Nah, but I'm kidding. But still, it's still interesting, and I do like it a lot. And this is basically just a humble tribute, you know, like Tenacious D. This is just a tribute for Bob. And yeah, I do hope this comes across that I'm mildly hyped about all of this. Yeah, mildly hyped, you could say.